Have you ever paused sometime after your 70th birthday and wondered what truly determines how many more years you have left to enjoy? Sure, you might hear statements about good genes or luck, but doctors and aging specialists have uncovered deeper, more concrete factors that quietly guide your path toward a longer or shorter life after 70. Even if you feel some stiffness in your joints or notice your energy waning, it's not written in stone that the next few years must follow a downward slope. Many older adults defy the norms and remain vigorous, even in their 80s or 90s, and it's rarely because they're simply lucky. Instead, their daily lives tend to reflect certain habits, mindsets, and priorities that fortify their bodies and minds. By the same token, those who age poorly often neglect one or more of these crucial elements, and they pay the price in diminished health, lost independence, or an abrupt end to the life they hope to keep enjoying. The beauty here is that even after 70, you have some power to align yourself with these key factors, making thoughtful changes that can yield extra years full of meaning. Below, in a single flowing conversation, you'll discover 6 fundamental factors that shape longevity at this stage, offering you a clearer roadmap towards staying on your feet, in good spirits, and truly alive in more than just name. One essential factor that doctors repeatedly emphasize is the state of your muscle mass and physical agility. Past your mid-60s, the body's natural process of muscle loss, called sarcopenia, can accelerate. Unless you fight back with mild resistance exercises or consistent daily movement, perhaps you're used to doing housework and think that's enough to stay active. But unfortunately, typical chores don't challenge your muscles adequately, especially if you've grown adept at cutting corners to conserve energy. Over years, those big muscle groups in your legs and core can shrink, and with them goes the support your bones and joints rely on. That might not sound dire until you realize how many older adults lose their independence, simply because they can't stand without help or climb stairs safely. The good news is that muscle responds to training at any age. If you begin a simple routine, like sit-to-stands from a chair, gentle squats while holding onto a rail, or light dumbbell work for your arms, a few times a week, you can slow or even partially reverse that muscle decline. You'll walk with greater stability, stand up more confidently, and reduce your risk of falls. After 70, it's not about bulking up. It's about retaining enough power to carry out everyday tasks without draining your energy or stressing your joints. Alongside your muscle mass, this factor includes your balance. A small set of balance exercises, like standing on one foot for several seconds while holding onto a table if needed, can sharpen your reflexes. Each morning, you might do a short warm-up routine to gently rouse your legs and spine, letting your circulation flow before diving into daily tasks. By prioritizing muscle and agility, you equip yourself to remain physically capable, which in turn fosters the confidence to keep exploring life. Without addressing this factor, even the best intentions or diets might fail, because your body lacks the fundamental support structure that every other system depends on. A second key determinant of longevity is how well you manage chronic conditions, especially common ones like hypertension, diabetes, or heart disease. By 70, many adults have at least one diagnosis that requires consistent attention. Yet some seniors downplay the necessity of strict management. Maybe they skip a dose here or there or assume they can wing it on diet. Others might avoid checkups from fear of hearing bad news. But doctors see a direct link between controlled chronic conditions and a life that extends gracefully beyond the 70s. If your blood pressure is stable, your risk of stroke or heart failure decreases. If your blood sugar is in check, your organs and nerves remain healthier. And if you're proactive about your heart health, through moderate exercise, a balanced diet, possibly cholesterol-lowering medication if needed, your cardiovascular system can stay robust enough to handle minor crises that could otherwise escalate. Of course, taking pills on time and adjusting your meals can feel tedious, but the reward is priceless: an immune system that's not constantly under siege, bones that receive proper blood flow, and a brain well supplied with nutrients. Plus, good management often stops small issues from morphing into hospital stays that sap your strength. Embracing technology, like a simple blood pressure monitor at home or a glucose meter if you have diabetes, can help you catch problems early, Pair that vigilance with open communication with your doctor, reporting odd symptoms or changes quickly, and you're less likely to be blindsided by health emergencies. Over time, consistent management fosters a sense of control and stability, letting you focus on enjoying your grandkids, hobbies, or a peaceful retirement instead of shuttling in and out of urgent care. The third big factor revolves around nutrition. After 70, your body processes nutrients differently. Your muscles demand sufficient protein to resist atrophy, your bones need calcium and vitamin D to remain sturdy, and your immune defenses rely on a spectrum of vitamins and minerals. Yet many seniors inadvertently slip into malnutrition. Some skip meals due to low appetite or convenience. Others gravitate to quick processed snacks that lack essential micronutrients. Then there are those who drastically cut calories, believing that less food means fewer health problems. But in reality, they might deprive themselves of the building blocks for muscle repair, organ function, and cognitive alertness. A balanced, senior-friendly diet typically includes a good lean protein source at each meal, be it eggs, fish, legumes, or soft poultry. Plus, plenty of produce for fiber, antioxidants, and minerals. Whole grains, or appropriate alternatives if you have special conditions, can supply steady energy. Hydration also matters. Older adults sometimes don't sense thirst as strongly, risking mild dehydration that affects metabolism and mobility. If you find yourself disinterested in food, try spicing dishes differently or focus on nutrient-dense soups and stews that are easier to chew or digest. Some older people benefit from small protein shakes or meal replacements if cooking is too tiring. The key is ensuring your body receives enough protein, vitamins, and minerals each day so it can mend, strengthen, and defend itself. Over weeks and months, you might note clearer skin, less hair thinning, a bit more pep in your step, and fewer troubles with digestion. By contrast, ignoring nutrition can lead to a slow unraveling where minor infections linger or your muscles gradually fade. So if you want to see your ADS in good shape, let food become an ally rather than an afterthought. Emotional and social well-being form a fourth, often underestimated factor in how far you'll journey past 70. Humans are social creatures, and seniors who cut themselves off risk accelerating both mental and physical decline. Feelings of loneliness or isolation can spike stress hormones, weaken the immune response, and push you toward either overeating or skipping meals. Depression or chronic anxiety can also discourage you from exercising or seeing a doctor when something's off. On the flip side, a fulfilling social life, a circle of friends, a volunteer group, or close family bonds can stimulate your mind, lift your spirits, and even keep you physically active by encouraging you to get out of the house. Even gentle routines like a weekly card game, a monthly book club, or daily phone chats can anchor your sense of belonging. Some older adults find renewed purpose in mentoring younger folks or babysitting grandchildren, while others connect with religious or community organizations that help them stay relevant and appreciated. If your social network has thinned, maybe friends have moved away or passed on, it might feel daunting to start anew. But even small steps such as joining a local senior fitness class or a neighborhood watch group can open doors to new friendships. Over time, that daily spark from human connection fortifies your psyche, helping your body resist stress or illness. You may even find your memory stays sharper when you're regularly conversing or planning group activities. Without such engagement, you can slip into a routine of passivity, which can feed a sense that life is winding down. By intentionally preserving or expanding your social ties, you keep your days purposeful, which often translates into living longer and living better. The fifth factor is the ability to bounce back from minor setbacks, sometimes called resilience. By your 70s, your body's margin for error is thinner. A small tumble that would have been a nuisance at 50 can become debilitating if you're not physically or mentally prepared to bounce back. Likewise, a short flu can escalate into pneumonia if your immune system is compromised or if you lack the mobility to clear your lungs properly. What sets the resilient older adult apart is readiness to address problems immediately. They don't ignore dizziness or unusual fatigue, they consult a doctor or rest adequately. They keep a stock of balanced foods and hydration aids for sick days. If they twist an ankle, they do mild exercises to regain strength instead of letting that foot remain immobile for weeks. Essentially, Resilience is the interplay of bodily health, mental adaptability, and practical problem-solving. You can cultivate resilience by staying active, so your muscles and joints are better able to handle an unexpected slip. You also keep your mind flexible by engaging in new challenges, like learning a hobby or adopting a small technology skill, so you adapt quickly when life shifts. Moreover, leaning on a social network in times of trouble, neighbors, friends, or family, ensures you're not tackling an illness alone. That synergy allows you to recover faster, returning to normal function instead of sliding into a permanent decline. Over time, each successful rebound cements a mindset that you can, indeed, keep going, which in turn supports your overall longevity. Contrast that with someone who, after one mishap, gives up on routine walks or personal grooming because it's too hard now. The difference in outcome can be stark, with one path leading to a robust later life, and the other to a quick fading of independence. Lastly, the sixth factor that strongly influences longevity after 70 is your sense of purpose or personal meaning. Many older adults reach a point where they feel they've done all they needed, raised a family, worked a job, or contributed to their community. Without a next chapter in mind, they might drift, letting each day blur into the next. This mental state can subtly sap the will to stay healthy or push yourself. If you tell yourself, "I'm basically done anyway," you may skip medical appointments, let your diet slip, or avoid social gatherings. Over time, that mindset can hasten physical and mental decline. In contrast, older adults who hold on to or rediscover purpose, be it caring for a garden, volunteering at a local charity, writing memoirs, or being the family historian, tend to remain more vibrant. That sense of mission shapes daily decisions. You might eat better because you need energy to accomplish your goal. You might schedule a gentle yoga class to stay limber for your volunteer hours. You might keep learning technology to connect with faraway grandchildren. Each of these choices fortifies your body and mind, effectively prolonging your life. It's striking how many centenarians recall that continuing to feel needed or pursuing a passion gave them the spark to keep going. Indeed, purpose can even reduce stress as you're guided by a positive reason for living. If you're not sure where your purpose lies, experiment. Try small acts of kindness, explore a new hobby, or go back to something you loved decades ago but shelved. Over time, you'll find a cause or activity that resonates. That focus can carry you through rough patches and keep you enthusiastic about your daily health routine. Without it, life can feel aimless, which often shortens one's horizon. All six of these factors, muscle and mobility, chronic condition management, quality nutrition, social engagement, resilience, and purposeful living, interweave to form the foundation for a longer life after 70. If you excel in some areas but ignore others, you might still run into trouble. For example, even if you exercise regularly, ignoring a mild heart condition can lead to a sudden event, or having a solid friend group won't save you if you're chronically undernourished. But the good news is that none of these pillars demands perfection. Small, steady steps can yield real progress. If you're out of shape, start with a 5-minute routine. If your diet is lacking, add an extra piece of fruit or a protein shake each day. If you feel lonely, reach out to one acquaintance or sign up for a local class. Over weeks and months, these modest changes accumulate into a new baseline of well-being. Then, if an emergency or setback occurs, your stronger foundation helps you rebound. You might be thinking it's too late if you're 75 and feeling the weight of health issues. But geriatric specialists confirm that meaningful improvements can appear at any age. True, the earlier you begin, the better, but it's never pointless to begin. Some older folks in their late 70s start a light strength training program and quickly notice more stable walking and less fear on the stairs. Others correct their diet after a diabetes scare and find their energy returning. The sense of empowerment can be life-changing. You realize you're not just a passive bystander in the aging process, but an active participant. By investing in these 6 areas, you effectively nudge the odds in your favor that you'll see 80, 85, or perhaps even beyond 90 while still being able to do what matters to you. Travel, host gatherings, or simply walk around the neighborhood with a sense of ease. That autonomy, that feeling of still steering your own ship, is priceless. Another subtle reward is how you become a beacon for others in your generation or younger. People might see your example and think, if she can do it at her age, so can I. You may end up inspiring friends to join you for morning walks, or your adult children might pick up better health habits after noticing your transformation. This ripple effect can enhance your sense of purpose even further, bolstering that sixth factor. Meanwhile, you might find personal joys reignited, like gardening without constant knee pain, or reading bedtime stories to a grandchild without nodding off from fatigue. Essentially, you reopen the door to experiences you feared you had to let go of. That's the power these six factors hold when integrated into your daily life. By meeting your body's needs for muscle, nourishment, medical vigilance, social connection, resilience, and purpose, you're placing yourself in the best possible position to extend your time on Earth. And more importantly, to fill those added years with engagement rather than mere survival. It's important to be realistic, though. Some health conditions remain beyond anyone's control, and accidents can happen. Not every older adult who strives to align with these factors will live to 100, but ignoring them all but guarantees a steeper decline. The real measure is your quality of life. Do you greet the morning with some energy and a plan, or do you struggle just to dress yourself? If you're floating somewhere in the middle, these factors can tip you toward a more vibrant existence. If you're already grappling with serious limitations, you can still improve your situation by focusing on the aspects you can control, like slightly better nutrition, or forging a new friendship that lifts your mood. Over time, each positive action supports the others. For instance, dealing effectively with your arthritis might free you for daily walks, which helps you meet neighbors, which brightens your outlook, which in turn encourages you to keep up those healthy meals. That synergy can break any downward spiral you might be in. If you're unsure where to begin, reflect on which factor you've neglected the most. Maybe you realize your social circle is practically non-existent, or you've never truly confronted your type 2 diabetes. Start there with baby steps, or talk to a professional, a nutritionist, a physical therapist, a community organizer. Little by little, you build momentum. Keep in mind that it's okay to ask for help or lean on others. Often, older adults flourish once they allow adult children or local volunteers to pitch in, letting them focus on the tasks that give them a sense of accomplishment. That synergy can transform your daily routine from a lonely struggle to a communal effort that fosters growth. Family or neighbors might be thrilled to see you motivated to lengthen your lifespan in a healthy, active way, reminding them that aging can be a positive journey, not a doom-laden meltdown. And each day that you commit to better habits is a day you reinforce to yourself that you're not done living. This self-affirmation is powerful. It lifts your morale, sparks a can-do attitude, and nourishes the resilience that's so vital after 70. Putting it all together, the secret to longevity well past 70 is multi-layered. Maintain your muscles in balance, stay on top of chronic conditions, eat and hydrate smartly, engage socially and emotionally, cultivate resilience for life's curveballs, and anchor yourself in a sense of purpose. These 6 factors act like pillars, holding up the house of your well-being. Let 1 or 2 pillars crumble, and the entire structure can wobble, but keep them strong or rebuild them if they've started to weaken, and your life stands a much better chance of lasting into those later decades with a spirit of enthusiasm and gratitude. There's something deeply satisfying about proving, even to yourself, that your best chapters might still lie ahead, chapters enriched by the wisdom and perspective only years can grant. If that resonates, then now is the time for small yet determined changes. No matter how old you are at this moment, in a year or 2 you might look back amazed at how far you've come, physically and mentally. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one telling stories at the family gatherings in your 80s and beyond, inspiring younger generations to care for themselves early so they too can savor a long and fulfilling life.